Jason Lawrence, J-Law Fitness. This video today is going to be about stretching. So I have two disclaimers here to make though before I start. So the first is this video I'm making is for a friend. She requested some of the stretches for lower body. It's something that I was going to get to eventually. Just haven't gotten to it yet, but you know, I try to be timely with my delivery of things, so I figured why not incorporate it into the videos now, because stretching is so important. It keeps you know, free of injury. It really helps to protect your joints. It makes it so you can, you know, exercise more, so you maintain your fitness or even improve your fitness. So it's vitally important. My other disclaimer is that unfortunately, you know, my wife is not at home today, so you know, I don't have my wonderful wife who is my videographer to help with the camera angles and everything. So, you know, kind of bear with me today. I'm going to do my best that I can to kind of keep the camera where it should be. But yet again, I try to be timely with my delivery when I have requests for things. So, you know, this is going to be a video showing all the different stretches. And, you know, if you guys have any questions about any of the angles that is hard to understand, you know, based on the way things are positioned, make sure you comment in the comment section, and I'll try to get you information as timely as I can, maybe making another video just on that specific stretch. So first thing I want to start with, we're going to talk about glute stretch here, okay? So these mats right here, I have two yoga mats just kind of folded up, because with some of these stretches, I really want to make sure I'm protecting my back and my knees. So we got the two yoga mats here. I'm on my back, okay? Now, you want to make sure you bring one leg across, okay? And then from here, you want to take this hand furthest away. So the hand where the leg is bent and on the floor, so that hand, and you're just going to grab that knee that's bent, okay? Now, with this other one, you're going to reach in between your legs. So in that spot that you make by crossing this leg over, you're going to grab your other hand. Now, just from this position alone, try to push this knee that way, okay? So push that knee that way. So even there, I feel a little bit of a stretch in my glute already. Now the real key to this stretch is that you have to make sure that you're pushing your butt down. So you're trying to get more of an anterior tilt in your pelvis. So when I say anterior tilt, I mean trying to round out your back, okay? See how my hips kind of go from a neutral position and then they're pushing this way. So watch. So I'm here, and then they push that way. So you're trying to round your back, okay? So get in this position here, push your knee the way I told you, and then try to round your back, okay? And you're going to feel that stretch. Now you can pull towards you too. So pull these legs towards you, trying to keep that rounded back, and you're going to really get a good glute stretch. Now if I don't do that with my back, I can pull my legs all the way up here. I can touch my nose to my shin. Okay, and you will feel some stretch like that still, but you don't have to do it that way, you know. You don't have to pull all the way up like that. I think it's much more effective if you try to push your butt down around your back and then pull, because you're going to get a lot more in your glute without having to come up as far. Okay, the next one I want to talk about, sticking with the mat here, is going to be hip flexor stretch. Now, this one and the quad stretch that I'm going to show you are both very frequently misperformed. Something that I did for a long time too, where I wasn't positioning myself the correct way, and I wasn't, you know, recruiting muscles the right way to maintain the proper stretch. So, and what I mean by that is what I'm going to show you right now. So you're in this position here because you want to stretch the hip flexors, which are right here in the front of your hip. Okay? Now, I used to do this too, but as becoming a physical therapist assistant, you know, reading, you know, doing my research, you know, I learned the proper way to do this over time. So I'm guilty of this too, so don't feel bad if you're doing it this way, because it's a common misconception. So this is the bad form that most people do. They just lean way out like this. Now the problem with that is, you know, look at my butt, look at my curvature in my back. So I have no tension on the front of my hips right now, because of my hip position, my pelvic position. So what you should do, you see how I'm kind of in a neutral position here, so my back's kind of just flat. Now what you want to do is you want to try to round your back this way. Okay, so look at my pelvis. So I'm doing a posterior tilt with my pelvis, because my pelvis here, which the top of it's right here, You know, I'm in a neutral position here, and then I'm tilting it posteriorly, so backwards, like that. You know, this is anterior tilt where you have this curvature in your back, and you're sticking your butt out, and then this is a posterior tilt. So you want to get in this position, and then you want to posterior tilt. Sorry, wrong one. There you go, posterior tilt. And just being in this position and tilting my pelvis that way, I already feel a stretch in here. So you're trying to bring the bottom of your pelvis up and the top of it back, okay? So you're trying to round out your back that way, okay? So get in that position. You feel that already there in the hip flexor, and then if you need a little extra, then try to lean forward into it. But you got to make sure you keep that tension there. Okay, same thing with the quad here. Sorry if I kind of cut off my head as I'm talking here, again with the camera angle. So with the quad, two things that people tend to do. They stick it out to the side like this, or they're just bringing it way up like this. Now, if I'm out to the side like this, I'm getting nothing. And the reason why is I don't have a proper alignment here. So I'm not even stretching the quad if I'm out here. Okay? Your quad is right here in the front of your thigh. Now, and if I do it this way, it's the same thing. Look at my butt, look at my back. See, I have that anterior tilt of my pelvis, where my pelvis is going this way. But I want it the same way as my hip flexors. I want it like that. Because look, me just going like that, I already feel a big stretch in my quad. Just trying to tilt that forward, quad and hip flexor. If you have the balance for it, it's even more beneficial to be able to grab your foot with both hands, try to keep that tilt in your pelvis, and then pull. Because that's just, my quad and my hip flexor are on fire stretching right there. So keep that good, you know, posterior tilt, and then pull up, okay? Now the last stretch I want to show is going to be for the hamstrings. Again, I'm going to show you the bad form first. So a common thing that people will show you and that they'll do, and they think they're doing great, but really they're not really doing as much as they think they are, is they'll get their feet together here, they get their knees straight, and then they say, oh, I'm going to touch the floor, I'm so flexible I can touch the floor. And then look at my back. Sure, I can touch the floor, but look at my back. My back is totally rounded. Okay? So am I really getting that much tension in my hamstrings? So back here, am I really getting that much tension there? Not really, because I'm letting my back compensate and I'm getting all of this rounding and stretching my back, but I'm giving my hamstrings a break. I'm taking the tension off of them because of my pelvic position. Okay? So we kind of talked about the pelvic position before. So with this one, you want to make sure that you keep your back rounded in. So we're doing an anterior pelvic tilt. So my hips are here, and I'm tilting the top of my pelvis that way. So anterior, posterior, okay? So posterior tilt is for when we're doing the hip flexor and the quad stretch. The anterior tilt is for when we're doing the glute and the hamstring stretch. So you want to get something. I have a bench here because I think it's easiest to do this with the bench. So you want to get something like this bench, put it in front of you, get your feet close together again, okay? Get your knees straight, but get that good pelvic tilt, just kind of resting your hands on the bench here. So you're starting in this position. And I can tell you, already in this position, I can already feel a stretch in my hamstrings and in my calves, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to keep that good position, and you're going to try walking your hands out and trying to get as low with your head and your shoulders to this bench as you can. Continuing to walk out. And I'm telling you right now, that is just burning up my hamstrings and burning up my calves. Okay? So that's one modification you can do, or one position you can do. The other one you can do is either on a step or even on a bench like this, putting your foot up like this. Okay? So you have your foot out in front of you, and then you want to make sure that you turn so you're facing that foot. So let me see if I can get this set up a little bit better so you guys can see. So I have my foot out in front of me, and you don't want to be way open and twisted out like this. You want to turn towards that leg. Okay, so you're in alignment with that leg. And then what you want to do is the same thing. You want to make sure that you get that good tilt, so that you're trying to get that anterior tilt, bringing your hips forward and rounding out your back, curving out your back. And then you're trying to just reach out over top of that. because again, I feel that is just lighting up my hamstring already. Okay, I'll show you the side angle here. Okay, so the side angle here, same thing. So I get my leg out here, okay, I get my anterior tilt, and then I'm just trying to lean out over top of it, you know, and just right there even. I mean, I feel that so much in my hamstring, just right there. Now, I'm not the most flexible person, but I have decent flexibility, and just being in that position right there, man, it really burned up that hamstring already. So, you know, there's some of my best tips that I have for you guys, because it's about doing things effectively and efficiently, because otherwise you're kind of just wasting effort, you're wasting tension, you're wasting time a lot of times. So, you know, make sure that you're really focusing on the hip position, you're really making sure you're hitting things the right way, you know, and it might look funny to a lot of people because they're doing it wrong. So, you know, if you see people out there that are doing it wrong, if they come up to you and they give you a hard time, say, hey, you know, I know I'm doing this the right way. So I can show you how to do it the right way and show you what you're doing wrong. But don't take it hard. Don't feel weird if you're doing it the right way and somebody tells you the wrong way, because they're just used to seeing how society tells them to do it. You know, there's a lot of misconceptions out there in this world about how to do things. Just because it's how everybody does it, it doesn't mean it's right. So make sure you guys are doing the right form. You're going to get the best stretch. Okay. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next video.